Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 46th Commitments of Traders Report of 2021, and as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. But before we jump to the review, this is just a reminder for those of you who are new to COT analysis. Here at COTBase.com, we offer a lot of educational material helping you better understand what this report is all about. We also have some very useful videos too that will guide you through the analysis process and how you can use our tools. Back to the review, and starting off with our first market, which will be the British pound. You can see it's on top of our list with a 26% change in commercials positions based on a 52-week look back period. So that's what it stands for over there. Of course, commercials are represented with the red line. Green represents large speculators, and then we've got the small speculators, or as they call them in the official reports, non-reportables, in the blue line underneath over there. So here we have that change, which again is much greater than average, although it seems in the past couple of weeks changes in traders' net positions have increased, the dynamics, if you compare it, for instance, to this area that I'm showing to you. So this is a bullish COT change signal, the same that we had last week. Now you can see that last week's bullish change signal was actually an effective one because it came after this decline, and you can see we did not see a follow through of this weakening in the market. We actually have witnessed a bit of a rise in the price of the British pound. Now this recent report suggests that we may see this continue on in the next couple of days. Early next week. Moving on to the 5 years chart, here we go. You can see that with this change, we actually are getting closer to bullish extreme levels. Now, of course, again, it depends on what time frame you're looking at it. So on this 5 years chart, you can see that we are still far away from those all-time or close to all-time extreme levels. Okay, although if this magnitude of change continues in traders' positions, we may reach that sooner. We'll see. Nevertheless, the stress level in this market is building up towards the bullish side, but don't forget there's still space left, and the last major extreme was this bearish one just at that top. Silver, another great market for this review, 25% change, roughly the same change size percentage-wise, but in the opposite direction. So the 1 year chart, here we go. It is greater than average. It is bearish. We did see some weakness in the market this week. Now, of course, it's always best to look at these COT change signals together with the extreme analysis, and I'll explain to you why. You may see that we had a relative bullish extreme, nothing huge, like nothing the one we saw in June of 2019 or this one from 2018 September, but I mean it was there. It was I would say approximately 80-90 report extreme, and that actually started this leg of this movement in silver. We are moving away from those levels. Are we at a bearish extreme? I don't think so. You can see what a bearish extreme looks like from February of 2020. Or another example from April of 2017. So we're not at those levels, but it does signal that we should be prepared once extreme levels hit those highs, stress-wise. Then, of course, we may see a shift in the trend. Of course, we would expect the market to break this $30 mark, and as it goes higher, I would expect traders to increase their positions accordingly. Another currency, South African Rand, 21% change over there in commercials positions. You can see the magnitude on the chart over there. It is a bearish change signal, but we already are witnessing some weakness in this market. Moving on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we're more or less in between the two extreme. Nothing so exciting here. So let's just move on and have a look at large speculator COT Extreme. We talked about the British pound. We're going to skip that, but the Euro-British pound pair is actually a market in itself. And here we have 109 report extreme in large speculators. What's interesting to see, by the way, if you look at the chart, that both large speculators and commercials are net short. So it's really only small speculators who are on the optimistic side of the market, right? They've been there actually throughout the past 5 years. It is, I should say, more of a bullish extreme just by measuring or looking at this 5 years time horizon. But as I always say, when we come to these currency pair futures, it's best to look at the euro and the British, so that all the parts of this pair separately, right? To come to a conclusion, because in itself, the euro British pound currency pair futures contract is not such a huge market as the euro or the British pound separately. Okay, British pound, we talked about. Russian ruble, the next market. Here we have a 87 report extreme in large speculators, and it is a obvious bearish extreme. Can grow. That's something you should look at. There's space left to reach even greater levels. But yeah, it just suggests that we should not be so excited about higher prices here. At least that's what the stress level analysis tells us. And last but definitely not least, we've got gold with the 66 report extreme. And that's why we always look at the charts, right? 66 report extreme, what does that mean? Nothing really. You have to look at it visually. So let's start with a bullish extreme back from September of 2018. What a beautiful time to buy gold, right? Anybody interested in understanding the COT report, this might be a great example for you. Now, of course, we have moved away from those extremes. We do not have that huge bullish extreme in the market. Is this a bearish extreme? Well, I should say that in February of 2020, we had a bearish extreme in the market. Now, I'm not saying that COT analysis can predict great pandemic in the world, the coronavirus, but it's interesting that the stress level analysis could have been very helpful to kind of skip that decline, right? So anyways, we are moving away from relative bullish extremes. If we look at a, let's say, 3 years time horizon, is this a bearish extreme to be worried about if you are along the gold market? I don't know. I'm not convinced that it is. Okay, so this whole area here between 200,000 contracts net short and 400 contracts net short, it can be considered a bearish extreme. I personally would think that something that we have not seen yet, and an all-time extreme, of course, those are the ones that we have not seen yet. So above 400,000 contracts net short for commercials would mean to me that caution is advised, and we can expect gold to tumble. So that was all for this review. Of course, these are very brief, just showing you a few markets, but of course, you may always look at all the markets available at cotbase.com. You can actually look at the newest COT report types, other data types, and of course, a bunch of very, very useful tools to dig deep. If you're somebody who trades a specific market, we talked about the British pound, so let's open that. You may actually look into the specifics of the data. We take out all the data sets from the report and actually make it available to you in chart format. So that's something that I think is very unique and may be useful to some of you. We also have some very useful indicators that I'd like to talk about. The COT Base Pro indicator, which actually includes everything that you see on the website, and it is accessible through NinjaTrader. So all our tools at your disposal in NinjaTrader. But what I'm even more excited about is the COT Base iCOT intraday indicator, available for NinjaTrader, CTrader, and TradingView. This is something we worked on for many, many years, and our goal was to bring the fabulous COT report analysis into the short term. Now, of course, this is not data from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. It's our own unique indicator. But if you look at our example charts, you may find that the COT charts underneath the chart are very, very similar to what you're used to in COT analysis. And so this may actually be beneficial for those who are interested in designing a trade, how to enter or maybe exit a market. So let's say you have a bullish signal from the COT report that you'd like to take advantage of, and if you have a supporting bullish signal from the ICOT intraday indicator, that might actually be a good way to enter the market. Now, I'd like to point out to you, this is gold and this is a 1-minute candlestick chart. So a lot of great tools here at COT Base, mainly focused on the commitments of traders report. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for being with me. I wish you guys a pleasant weekend. Take care and see you in my next review.